Hey guys, Shanks here, and today we're going to be reviewing another figure. I know I haven't posted for a while, but whatever. Today we're going to be reviewing the Generations Warpath or whatever. That's basically what it all is, isn't it? It's just a bunch of generations. But anyway, here's Warpath. This is the good Warpath. I don't like the newer one they made. I like this older one because the newer one just feels cheap fan service. This one feels more well done. I like this because this feels more like Warpath. Um, and I like this figure. I like this figure a lot because it's. You'll see in a minute. Um, so we're just gonna look at some details because normally we don't do that, but a lot of nice detailing, sculpted. I bet you a lot of people say that this isn't painted that good, but all the treads, pretty much everything that has the main color of red is red plastic, and then everything else on that red plastic is painted on, like these silver treads completely painted, and such. Not that bad on side, but says Zowee, and then Kapow, and it has some Autobot symbols on the sides. Um, got some like missile launchers, and I got like one big missile launcher. Which actually is a missile launcher. And I have trouble with this, because if you pound the back of this, and I should probably just, because what most people have done is just cut that back piece off. Well, I've kind of wanted, but that's because if you pound the back of this hard enough, it goes flying. Like, just even setting, you gotta be careful. You gotta set this thing down, and you always gotta set it down on its face. Because if you set it down on its back, and it angles on this thing, if you even touch that thing, it's gonna launch out, and you're gonna lose the shit. And as you can see, I have plenty of places to lose it. I point over there, because that's actually where I've lost it twice, before. But the actual official firing gimmick is right here. It's hard to access in the tank mode, but you can still do it. Um, but it's tricky, because normally you'd think, oh hey, push this back thing down. No, you actually gotta take it from the front and pull it back. You gotta actually like manually open it. Like normally you just push the back part down and then it does it, but now you gotta like pull the front of this tab back. That's how you fire it, and it fires pretty okay. Probably can't get any good accuracy on it. But yeah. You can't even really tell this is a tank other than the crotch hanging out right here. So anyway, just so I don't lose the missile during the review on accident, I'm going to disarm his missile. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave it in, and then we'll see it a little bit in the robot form, and then I'll just disarm it then. So yeah, stay tuned for that real quick. Once again, you can see we're not in robot mode yet, but that's because I didn't get too far before I realized that I didn't show you off tank articulation. The giant thing can do a full 360. The barrel itself can move up and down, and it doesn't roll, but tanks don't roll. They just kind of move. And so I think this is a really good tank. I personally, I'm not too big of a fan of this fuck, what I don't know what it's called, but it's got the four thingies. I'm not personally a fan of that kind of design. I'm more of a fan of the design where it's just the whole thing, because I like more classic tanks. But I like it on this. I like this. I like the way that this is done, because, yeah, I just like the way this is done. This feels more like something you'd see in, although this is a really nice tank, this feels like something you'd see in, like, the new line, Siege line, or, like, in the, maybe in, like, the Bumblebee movie line. Like, if we ever saw Warpath, we'd get a toy like this. So although this does resemble Warpath, it's not exactly Warpath. Again, it feels more like a remix of him, and I like it. He's got those little clips so you can stick on the special little weapons. I ain't got none. I got Wheeljack as well. This is from the same line. He has little weapons that I can clip onto this guy, but they're basically useless because these clips are sideways, and the clips on that one um, are more suited for that toy. Either that or these are sideways, so I don't know. That's probably it. But this guy doesn't need it. He's already got a lot of artillery up here. He's already got a really good tank. Clipping things in would just hinder the movement of the giant turret on the top back. So shit. Back to the review. So yeah, I think it would hinder the movement of this thing because again, I like this tank mode. This is the best tank mode I've ever seen. Anyway, now we're gonna do robot mode. Alright, we're here. We're in robot mode. It's literally the simplest. It's really simple transformation. But I like it. Damn it. So yeah, like I said, here's the robot. And you see now a lot of nice detailing. A lot of more of the robotic detail comes out. It feels less red. It feels like it actually has gray in it, whereas in the tank mode it feels more red to me. And yeah, I like this figure. He can't hold weapons because of these giant whatever those are. So he can't hold weapons. He doesn't need them. He's got a tank. He's got missile launchers. He's got missile launchers. All right. He just doesn't need any of that weapon shit. That's why he didn't come packaged with any. He only came packaged with this missile. Speaking of the missile, it's easier to access in this mode. I'm gonna fire that off into my leg so I can catch it with my arm. So yeah, and I'm gonna again. Some people like to trim the back of that so it doesn't misfire. And take up shelf space. Also, what a lot of people like to do is pull that out so he's completely erect. And swear to God. I like to leave it pushed in there, though. I usually keep the missile in as well. Articulation is actually really good. You got the full. I can't do it with one hand because I'm holding one hand to hold the camera. But this can rotate 360 that way. This could come like all the way out. All perfect sideways. The elbow. Pretty good 90, a little over 90 degrees of bend. And if you call a jacking off motion articulation, then it's all good. No waist swivel, which isn't that bad. The legs can go out pretty far. I've never tested that theory though. You got rotation right here. You got a pretty good knee joint. Yeah, nothing in the foot. So nothing in the waist or the foot. So you can't really expect this guy to be post, but you can expect this guy to be played with. Trust me, 10 out of 10. Good toy. Good toy. Also, is it just me or does he look a little Grasian right there? So anyway, that was my review of Warpath, and I will see you guys probably a little bit later. See you later.